Imagine risking your absolute life trekking through scorching deserts just to claim your fairy tale princess, only to find a cross-dressing wolf in her bed instead. But trust me, that twist is nothing compared to the absolute nightmare about to unfold when an ogre tries to meet his royal in-laws. Strap in, because today we are breaking down Shrek 2, and things get wildly unhinged real fast. Prince Charming rolls up to the Dragon's Keep thinking he has major main character energy. He strutted all the way to the tower, expecting a gorgeous sleeping beauty ready for a curse-breaking kiss. Instead, he pulls back the curtain and finds the big bad wolf chilling in nightwear giving him the worst news of his life. Turns out, Princess Fiona did not wait around and is already off living her best life with someone else. Cut to Shrek and Fiona, who are currently madly in love and returning to their cozy swamp after a wild honeymoon. They are ready to get back to their privacy, zero clothes, pure ogre vibes, and total peace. But the second they open the door, their third-wheel nightmare is already waiting on the couch. Donkey literally crashed their house, watered non-existent fish, and decided he lives there now. When Shrek asks why he is not back home with Dragon, Donkey admits their relationship is low-key cooked right now. Shrek has to brutally break the news that married couples actually need space without a chatty donkey hanging around. Donkey finally takes the hint and leaves, but not before hinting at a random barbecue this weekend. Right as Shrek and Fiona try to get romantic, a full royal brass band literally explodes onto their front lawn. Page royal messengers pull up with an official invitation from the king and queen of far, far away. Fiona's parents want her to bring her new prince back home for a massive royal ball to get their blessing. Shrek immediately senses the danger and puts his foot down, refusing to go anywhere near snobby royals. Fiona tries to reassure him, but deep down, everyone knows her parents are expecting a human heartthrob, not an ogre. Shrek knows the moment the villagers see his green face, they will start hunting him down. He begs Fiona to reconsider, warning her that mixing ogres with royalty is a recipe for pure chaos. But Fiona hits him with the ultimate wife card, basically forcing him to pack his bags whether he likes it or not. The Swamp Gang promises to look after the place, which low-key guarantees the swamp will be destroyed by the time they get back. Naturally, Donkey sneaks along for the ride, turning a long carriage journey into absolute psychological torture. Every 2 seconds, Donkey spams the exact same annoying question, pushing Shrek straight to the brink of insanity. Shrek tries to play along at first, but his patience instantly hits zero. When Shrek tries mocking him back, Donkey acts like he is the mature one here. Shrek literally snaps and screams at Donkey to stop making weird popping noises with his mouth. They are heading to far, far away, which is basically the fairy tale version of Beverly Hills. After what feels like an eternity, the carriage finally pulls through the legendary gates. Donkey takes one look at the giant palm trees and Hollywood signs and completely loses his mind. Fiona quickly realizes her childhood home is way more bougie than anything Shrek has ever experienced. The entire city gathers around the red carpet, blowing trumpets to welcome back their long-lost princess. Shrek and Fiona prepare to step out of the carriage, but the anxiety level is sitting at a maximum high. Donkey spots the massive crowd and instantly decides to hit the brakes and play valet driver instead. The moment Shrek and Fiona step into the sunlight, the entire crowd drops into dead silence. King Harold takes one look at his ogre daughter and nearly drops dead on the spot from pure shock. Queen Lillian tries to keep it together, but seeing her daughter transformed forever is a total brain melt. Shrek knows the vibe is totally ruined and desperately tries to slide back into the carriage to make a run for it. Shrek reminds Fiona that her dad literally tossed her into a dragon-infested castle, so why trust him now? Fiona tries to force a brave face, but deep down, she knows this introduction is going to crash and burn. She pulls Shrek forward and introduces him to her royal parents, making the air thick enough to cut with a knife. Shrek tries to drop a charming line to break the ice, but it lands like an anvil. To make matters 10 times worse, Shrek lets out a massive ogre burp right in front of the queen. Suddenly, Donkey bursts onto the red carpet shouting and ruining any tiny remaining shred of royal dignity. Fiona quickly lies that Donkey is a noble steed just to keep her dad from calling security on him. Donkey immediately demands fine dining treatment like he owns the whole castle. The family finally sits down for dinner, but the tension is higher than a wiretap. Fiona tries to make Shrek sound like a wealthy landowner, but Shrek keeps it way too real. King Harold drops a massive passive-aggressive shade, calling Shrek unoriginal to his face. Harold brings up potential grandkids just to rub more salt into the open wound. Shrek tries to brush off the baby talk, but the king keeps pressing every single nerve. Harold straight up disses ogres, sparking an absolute roast war right over the dinner table. Shrek snaps back, refusing to let the king belittle him in front of everyone. The king literally accuses Shrek of being a mindless beast that eats its own children. Shrek claps back hard, reminding Harold that locking his own kid in a tower was way worse parenting. Shrek delivers the ultimate burn, telling the king he has no right to lecture anyone about love. Queen Lillian desperately tries to control the room, but the dinner descends into pure chaos as everyone screams names. Fiona cannot take the embarrassment anymore, so she bursts into tears and bolts straight up to her childhood bedroom. As Fiona cries on her bed, a magical glowing light suddenly illuminates the dark room. Out of nowhere, an extravagant woman floats down on a magical bubble with absolute diva energy. She introduces herself as Fairy Godmother, claiming she is here to fix Fiona's ruined life. She immediately launches into a high-budget, theatrical musical number to sell her magic solutions. She promises to wipe away the ogre curse and score Fiona a super wealthy, handsome prince. She flexes her power by magically replacing Fiona's clothes with high-end designer dresses. The fairy godmother literally tries to rewrite Fiona's entire identity on the spot. She hypes up a fictional Prince Charming, promising hot guys and luxury living instead of swamp life. But Fiona screams for her to stop, making it clear she actually loves her life just the way it is. The magical furniture immediately gets salty and snaps back at Fiona for rejecting the makeover. Right at that moment, Shrek comes pounding on the door to check up on his upset wife. Shrek walks in, sees a tiny dog, and gets completely confused by what just happened in the room. Fiona awkwardly introduces Shrek to the fairy godmother, setting up a massive clash of worlds. The fairy godmother turns around and realizes the princess did not marry Charming, but an actual ogre. And just like that, the fairy godmother realizes her grand evil plan for the throne is completely cooked. This wild meeting is where part 1 ends, leaving Shrek completely clueless about the massive battle heading his way. Fiona drops the bomb that Shrek is the one who saved her, but her parents are clearly not vibing with it. The atmosphere gets heavy and awkward fast, as the parents treat Fiona like she has lost her marbles. Fiona's dad is totally pressed and tries to force them to pack up and leave immediately. Fairy godmother makes a dramatic exit, dropping a cryptic line that feels like a total red flag. Shrek isn't buying the act for a second, and he shuts her down with some major sass. Shrek is now low-key spiraling, instantly regretting the decision to visit these in-laws. The argument hits a fever pitch when Shrek snaps and reminds everyone exactly who he is. He makes it crystal clear that he refuses to change for anyone, even for the woman he loves. Fiona is deeply hurt, feeling like she has made compromises that he refuses to acknowledge. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife, and the royal household is officially cooked. Lillian tries to mediate, but the king is clearly harboring some deep-seated, shady resentment. King Harold is acting like a total villain, refusing to accept an ogre as his son-in-law. Lillian drops the reality check that his stubbornness is going to destroy his relationship with his daughter. Harold just wants things to go back to the fairy tale script he originally planned. The king is absolutely disgusted, showing his true colors with this toxic judgment. Lillian is clearly over his dramatic behavior, calling out his ridiculous attitude. Harold hits rock bottom, but the universe is about to make things way more intense. Fairy Godmother shows up out of thin air, and Harold is visibly shook by her sudden presence. She demands a private chat, and Harold knows he is trapped in a bad situation. Harold tries to dodge the interaction, but we all know that is not happening. Fairy Godmother brings up Prince Charming, and the pieces of this shady puzzle start fitting together. Charming finally makes an appearance, and he acts like he has been through hell for this quest. Fairy Godmother is clearly the brains of this operation, and she is totally over Charming's theatrics. Charming is absolutely salty that a wolf stole his thunder at the tower. The tension peaks as Harold realizes he is being backed into a corner by his own past deals. They end up at a fast food joint, which is the most awkward business meeting ever. The truth comes out, they have a contract, and it is going to cause some major drama. Fairy Godmother is manipulating everything, convinced she is the main character in this kingdom. She gives him a cryptic command that basically means he needs to get rid of Shrek. Harold heads to a sketchy bar to find the only guy who can handle an ogre-sized problem. He enters the dark, gritty underworld of the kingdom, looking for a hitman. Harold is sweating bullets as he tries to put a contract out on his own son-in-law. The bartender warns him, but Harold is too desperate to listen to common sense. Puss in Boots steps out of the shadows, ready to take the job for a bag of gold. The mood shifts to something darker as the plan to eliminate Shrek is set in motion. Fiona leaves a note for her dad, hoping to fix their fractured relationship. We get a glimpse into her childhood dream, which creates a huge emotional contrast to her current reality. Harold shows up at Shrek's room, playing the role of the apologetic father-in-law. It is a super suspicious moment, and you just know he is plotting something foul. He invites Shrek to a hunt the next day, which is definitely just a trap. Shrek and Donkey are wandering deep into the woods, totally vulnerable to whatever is waiting. Donkey is just trying to be a supportive bestie, but the vibe is completely off. Shrek is trying to stay optimistic, but he is clearly out of his element here. Puss in Boots jumps them, and the action scene is honestly legendary. The cat is a tiny, furry ninja, and Shrek is having a hard time handling the chaos. Puss in Boots tries to look tough, but he is mostly just adorable in those tiny boots. Shrek is ready to end it, but the cat starts playing the victim card immediately. Puss claims he is doing this for his sick family, which sounds like a total lie. The truth drops, and Shrek is absolutely shattered that his father-in-law wanted him dead. The realization hits that the entire trip to far, far away was a setup. Shrek starts questioning his entire existence, wondering if Fiona deserves better than an ogre. He is truly desperate to be the version of himself that makes Fiona the happiest. He remembers the cryptic advice, and he is going to do whatever it takes to fix this. Shrek asks Donkey to help him with an emotional quest, leading to some hilarious frustration. Things get heated as they try to figure out their next move in the middle of nowhere. They call the Fairy Godmother's office and realize they need to infiltrate her base of operations. Shrek decides to break into the potion factory to see if he can magically change his fate. Donkey is back on his hype game, completely ignoring the danger they are in. Puss switches sides, now honor-bound to protect the guy he was just hired to kill. The dynamic between the group is pure comedy gold as they march forward. Even Shrek can't resist the charm of the cat in boots for too long. Back at the castle, Harold is failing at acting like a normal, happy father. Fiona is looking for her man, but the whole royal court is acting weird and evasive. Lillian throws some shade at her own husband, sensing something is definitely wrong. Harold is so checked out that he is eating literal garbage and doesn't even notice. Harold tries to poison Fiona's mind against Shrek, claiming it is just an ogre's nature. Fiona stands her ground, reminding her dad that love is about authenticity. Harold continues to gaslight his daughter, hiding behind the excuse of parental concern. Shrek and his crew arrive at the factory, which is basically a high-tech wizard lab. The scale of the operation is massive, and it is clear she has serious power. They decide to sneak in, using a clever union disguise to get past the gatekeeper. The employee is totally buying their act, which is honestly so hilarious. They act like they are conducting a labor inspection, which is a big brain move. They use the lack of dental benefits as a way to relate to the worker, and it works perfectly. They tell the guy to keep quiet, and they are officially deep inside the lair. They stumble upon the fairy godmother herself, who is busy cooking up some dangerous magic. She catches them mid-break-in, and the energy in the room instantly goes from 0 to 100. The fairy godmother cold-heartedly lists off every classic fairy tale to prove that ogres never get a happy ending. Shrek gets aggressive and points at her, but she snaps right back with absolute zero chill. Realizing they are getting absolutely nowhere with this toxic lady, Shrek decides it is time to bounce. As they exit, the fairy godmother screams at Puss in Boots to get his fluffy face out of her personal space. Shrek refuses to give up on his girl and instantly plots an unhinged heist inside the potion factory. Puss in Boots flexes his stealth skills, hyping himself up as a legendary feline thief. Donkey is forced to be the lookout, low-key complaining that they are about to get utterly cooked by magic. While sneaking through the lab aisles, Shrek searches through bizarre potions that definitely will not solve his relationship issues. Finally, Shrek spots a glowing potion labeled Happily Ever After and knows this is the ultimate cheat code. Donkey is outside giving a deep philosophical speech to himself while completely neglecting his lookout duties. Puss snatches the magic jar just in time, knocking over a shelf as Donkey catches the potion with his mouth. Back at the lab, Fairy Godmother storms in completely stressed out and demands comfort food. Prince Charming throws a dramatic temper tantrum, swearing to slice the ogre into pieces. Charming complains that Shrek stole his royal crown and his entire main character energy. An employee interrupts the drama to report that a single high-tier potion was stolen. Fairy Godmother realizes the stolen potion is the Happily Ever After formula and instantly cooks up an evil plan. Hiding out in a barn during a rainstorm, Shrek reads the label to see how this magic liquid works. The potion promises ultimate physical perfection and eternal happiness for the drinker and their soulmate. Shrek realizes that taking this magic brew will alter Fiona's appearance as well. Donkey senses major red flags and desperately begs Shrek to put down the sketchy voodoo juice. Puss in Boots steps up like a true bodyguard, volunteering to test the potion first. Donkey refuses to let Puss take the glory and snatches the potion to test it himself. Donkey chugs a drop, but Shrek points out he still looks like the same exact donkey. Donkey warns Shrek that drinking this means giving up his ogre identity forever. Shrek chugs the potion, but all it does at first is trigger a massive burp and a fart. When nothing happens, Shrek gets low-key heartbroken, assuming he and Fiona were never meant to be. Suddenly, a heavy magic surge hits Donkey and he starts totally freaking out. Shrek tells Donkey to chill out and blames their bad mood on the storm and the hitman. Shrek starts getting super sleepy as the potion takes full effect over his body. Meanwhile at the castle, Fiona's parents try to talk to her after a tense dinner. Fiona announces she is going to pack her bags and head right back to the swamp with Shrek. Queen Lillian begs her daughter to reconsider before making any crazy split-second decisions. The next morning, 3 local maidens wake up inside the barn and admire Puss in Boots. Shrek groans awake with a massive headache while the girls offer him water. Shrek inspects himself and realizes he suddenly has silky hair and insane male model aesthetics. The local maidens are practically swooning over Shrek's unmatchable new facial structure. The girls start fighting over who gets to touch this stunning handsome stranger. Donkey steps out from the shadows, revealing he received a massive glow-up as well. Donkey has transformed into a majestic white stallion and starts proudly prancing around. Puss reads the potion bottle warning that the magic will only stay permanent if Shrek kisses his true love by midnight. Shrek gets stressed out wondering why fairy tales always have strict midnight deadlines. Donkey assures Shrek that Fiona is going to be absolutely stunned by his incredible new look. Puss reminds him that despite the glow-up, he is still the same grump on the inside. Shrek chuckles and notes that Donkey is still the same exact chatterbox too. Shrek realizes his massive ogre tunic looks like a giant garbage bag on his lean new body. They ambush a wealthy nobleman on the road, leaving him screaming in total panic. The confused noble dramatizes his minor inconvenience while Shrek raids his wardrobe. Shrek demands the man hand over his drippy royal clothes and fancy horse carriage. Dressed like a majestic knight, Shrek speeds off toward far, far away castle. Shrek arrives at the castle gates demanding to see Princess Fiona immediately. The royal guard is totally clueless that this handsome hunk is actually the Green Ogre. Fiona wakes up inside the castle, completely transformed back into a gorgeous human princess. Donkey flexes his stallion physique in front of Fiona, hyping up their magic potion intake. Donkey tells Fiona that her newly handsome husband is inside searching for her. Meanwhile, Prince Charming intercepts Fiona inside her room before Shrek can reach her. Charming gaslights Fiona into believing that he is actually Shrek transformed by the magic. King Harold and Queen Lillian walk in, stunned to see Prince Charming hugging their daughter. Outside the window, Shrek watches in sheer heartbreak, believing Fiona has moved on. Fairy Godmother suddenly appears behind Shrek to crush his spirit once and for all. She points at Charming and Fiona, telling Shrek that Fiona finally has the prince she deserves. She tells Shrek to wake up to reality because an ogre can never truly belong with a princess. She manipulates Shrek into thinking that true love means walking away and letting Fiona be happy. Completely heartbroken and defeated, Shrek decides to leave the castle grounds. Shrek heads straight to the sketchy Poison Apple pub to drown his endless sorrows. The ugly stepsister bartender serves Shrek while Donkey and Puss try to comfort him. Shrek blames himself, calling his entire journey to far, far away one giant mistake. Donkey cannot believe that Shrek is giving up on the love of his life this easily. Shrek bitterly admits that Prince Charming is wildly attractive and perfect for a princess. Donkey agrees that Charming is dreamy, which only makes Shrek feel 10 times worse. Shrek insists that letting Fiona go is the ultimate sacrifice of true love. In the pub's back room, Fairy Godmother secretly meets up with King Harold. Harold complains that Fiona is low-key rejecting Charming because he acts completely fake. Charming whines about having to act like a gross ogre just to get a girl. Harold tries to stand his ground, saying you cannot force someone into falling in love. Fairy Godmother pulls out a dark mind control love potion to trick Fiona into kissing Charming. She threatens Harold, reminding him that she built his entire royal legacy and can easily destroy it. Shrek and Donkey are low-key caught red-handed as the Fairy Godmother tries to manipulate them. They break loose and sprint toward the royal ball with total main character energy. The entire kingdom is hyping up the royal ball while Shrek and Donkey make their wild move. The Fairy Godmother is out here playing the crowd like a pro, but the vibe is totally sus. Donkey tries to crash the party, but the guards are not having his drama at all. Inside the dungeon, Shrek and the squad are cooked up and desperate to escape. The banter in the cell is pure chaos as they plot their daring jailbreak. Ginny and Pinocchio show up with the ultimate assist, causing a massive explosion. Pinocchio is forced to tell a wild lie, and things get weird fast. The squad is spiraling, but they are finally breaking out to stop the wedding. Puss in Boots steps up, ready to throw down and save Fiona from a total nightmare. They head to the Muffin Man, cooking up a plan that is honestly absolute genius. The giant gingerbread man, Mongo, is born and ready to storm the castle gates. Donkey lures the giant through the town, causing total havoc as they approach the party. Shrek enters the ball looking like a total imposter, and Fiona is sensing the fake vibes. Prince Charming is making his move, but he is about to get wrecked by the Swamp King. The music drops and the siege begins, turning the fancy ball into an absolute war zone. Mongo takes a massive hit from the boiling cauldrons, and it is honestly so tragic. The squad pushes forward, determined to reach Fiona before the final kiss happens. Shrek finally crashes the stage, looking like the absolute boss he is. Pinocchio gets his moment to shine, helping the team reclaim the magic wand. Chaos ensues as the true identity of the royal couple starts to crumble. The fairy godmother snaps and tries to end Shrek, but King Harold jumps in. The king makes the ultimate sacrifice, turning back into a frog in his final moments. It is a heartbreaking reveal as Harold finally gives his blessing to the true couple. Lillian stays by his side, proving that true love is stronger than any curse. Midnight strikes and the magic choice is left entirely to Fiona. Fiona chooses her true love, deciding that being an ogre is her real vibe. Donkey gets his wish too, keeping the magic and the friendship alive. The ball turns into a massive fiesta, and the energy is through the roof. Everyone is dancing, the vibe is perfect, and the villains are totally defeated. Donkey tries to find his own happiness, but he ends up back with his crew. The ending is pure wholesome chaos as the family reunions hit the screen. Donkey realizes his life has peaked, and honestly, we love to see it. That is the end of the epic journey for our favorite swamp legends. If you vibed with this recap, make sure to smash that like button right now. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss another high-stakes breakdown. Drop a comment and let me know your favorite part of this wild movie. Stay tuned for more movie gold coming to your feed very soon. Hit that subscribe button and join the squad for the best content on the internet. Shrek and Donkey are low-key caught red-handed as the fairy godmother tries to manipulate them. They break loose and sprint toward the royal ball with total main character energy. The entire kingdom is hyping up the royal ball while Shrek and Donkey make their wild move. The fairy godmother is out here playing the crowd like a pro, but the vibe is totally sus. Donkey tries to crash the party, but the guards are not having his drama at all. Inside the dungeon, Shrek and the squad are cooked up and desperate to escape. The banter in the cell is pure chaos as they plot their daring jailbreak. Gingy and Pinocchio show up with the ultimate assist, causing a massive explosion. Pinocchio is forced to tell a wild lie, and things get weird fast. The squad is spiraling, but they are finally breaking out to stop the wedding. Puss in Boots steps up, ready to throw down and save Fiona from a total nightmare. They head to the Muffin Man, cooking up a plan that is honestly absolute genius. The giant gingerbread man, Mongo, is born and ready to storm the castle gates. Donkey lures the giant through the town, causing total havoc as they approach the party. Shrek enters the ball looking like a total imposter, and Fiona is sensing the fake vibes. Prince Charming is making his move, but he is about to get wrecked by the Swamp King. The music drops and the siege begins, turning the fancy ball into an absolute war zone. Mongo takes a massive hit from the boiling cauldrons, and it is honestly so tragic. The squad pushes forward, determined to reach Fiona before the final kiss happens. Shrek finally crashes the stage, looking like the absolute boss he is. Pinocchio gets his moment to shine, helping the team reclaim the magic wand. Chaos ensues as the true identity of the royal couple starts to crumble. The fairy godmother snaps and tries to end Shrek, but King Harold jumps in. The king makes the ultimate sacrifice, turning back into a frog in his final moments. It is a heartbreaking reveal as Harold finally gives his blessing to the true couple. Lillian stays by his side, proving that true love is stronger than any curse. Midnight strikes and the magic choice is left entirely to Fiona. Fiona chooses her true love, deciding that being an ogre is her real vibe. Donkey gets his wish too, keeping the magic and the friendship alive. The ball turns into a massive fiesta, and the energy is through the roof. Everyone is dancing, the vibe is perfect, and the villains are totally defeated. Donkey tries to find his own happiness, but he ends up back with his crew. The ending is pure wholesome chaos as the family reunions hit the screen. Donkey realizes his life has peaked, and honestly, we love to see it. That is the end of the epic journey for our favorite swamp legends. If you vibed with this recap, make sure to smash that like button right now. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss another high-stakes breakdown. Drop a comment and let me know your favorite part of this wild movie. Stay tuned for more movie gold coming to your feed very soon. Hit that subscribe button and join the squad for the best content on the internet.